Nature shines with beauty.
So I'm a climate scientist because of my faith. When I learned that climate change is not only an environmental issue, which of course it is, but when I learned that it is an issue of hunger and poverty, when it's an issue that affects women and children more than men, it affects people who are marginalized and dispossessed more than those who have ample resources. It affects indigenous peoples who have already lost so much. It disproportionately affects the most marginalized and vulnerable people on the planet, the very ones that we as Christians are told that we're to care for, to love, to supply their needs. It's profoundly unfair and profoundly unjust, and that is why I felt like I had to do everything I could to help fix this problem before it's too late.
Not that you have to belong to any particular tradition, but certainly the Christian tradition is full of teachings, again, not only about our stewardship of the earth, which is a very real thing in every tradition I've ever been exposed to, but even more importantly, our obligation to other people. We're saving people and we're responsible for mitigating the suffering that is created, especially by these sinful choices.
And that's why when it comes to climate change, a country like the US with a higher per capita carbon footprint does have to do more than a country like Mali or Bangladesh. It's also why we need to make sure the people most affected by the transition to clean energy aren't the ones bearing most of the cost. So that means that any climate plan worth its salt has to take these inequities into account.
In my lifetime, I've witnessed a terrible decline. In yours, you could and should witness a wonderful recovery. That desperate hope, ladies and gentlemen, delegates, excellency, is why the world is looking to you.
We don't believe that promises made by financial companies to end deforestation will actually prevent trees from being cut or burnt down. We simply don't believe it. But I am here right now to ask business and finance leaders, show us your faithfulness, show us your trustworthiness, show us your honesty. I am here to say, prove us wrong. I'm actually here to beg you to prove us wrong. We desperately need you to prove us wrong. Please, prove us wrong. God help us all if you fail to prove us wrong. God help us.
Rich developed countries like this one owe an obligation, a debt to developed vulnerable countries because we've created climate change, we've benefited through generations from the emissions that have been pumped into the atmosphere, and countries like Vanessa's are right now paying the price. Finance is key to this, not as an act of charity, but as an act of reparation.
I have seen with my own eyes 3 young children crying at the side of a dried up river after walking 12 miles with their mother to find water. Please open your hearts. Please open your hearts and then act.
Nature shines with beauty, bringing us